Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro, and we're looking at the full moon today in Gemini, and it will be occurring just a little bit past midnight at 12:12 on 12:12, and it is our last full moon of the year, so it's a biggie, and a lot of people are very excited about it because of the numerology. I am offering a special flash sale for the next 3 days until the 15th, where I will do a recorded reading that looks at your chart and what the full moon is doing for you and the transits going on to your natal chart. It is not a full analysis of your natal chart, so it may be best if you have some understanding of basic astrology, but if you'd just like to know what's up with this full moon as it relates to you specifically, then you can click through here to order. And you do need to provide your full birth data, which includes month, day, and year of birth and location. So let's get down to what I have written for the full moon forecast. Full moon in Gemini, Thursday, December 12th, illuminates the social and communicative areas of your life as it opposes the sun in Sagittarius. The mutable energy of the imaginative air element moon and adventurous fire element sun can scatter your energy as you take in all the options or attempt to juggle too many tasks at one time. Your time may be limited, but your social calendar full, and the list of things to be done for the holidays can overwhelm you. A quincunx between the Moon and Venus, Saturn, and Pluto, all conjunct in Capricorn, will hold you to your commitments and obligations, so do not say yes to something unless you truly want it. No matter what distractions or amusements the full moon delivers, Venus, planet of affection and pleasure, Saturn, planet of discipline and mastery, and Pluto, planet of will and control, joined together under the success-driven responsible sign of Capricorn, will help you determine what choices and which people are best for you. Mars in Scorpio trine to Neptune in Pisces is both a sexual and romantic aspect that may be influencing you to move to a deeper commitment in relationship or to put yourself out there if you are single. With Jupiter in Capricorn trine to Uranus in Taurus, luck is on your side if you are seeking a steady relationship. Gemini is the air sign that rules the third house of local travel, your neighborhood and community, people you treat like a brother or sister, and new acquaintances. I call it the coffee date house. Visit a place in your town you have never been to, say hi to neighbors, or attend a holiday event. With the full moon transiting Gemini, the cure for stagnation is circulation. And that definitely is true. We have a lot going on with the full moon. The most important part, of course, is the moon itself in Gemini, and that is a mutable air sign, and it is highly communicative and imaginative, and mutable means changeable, flexible, adaptable. So this opposition of sun and moon will kind of scatter your energy if you're not careful. There are things that can help anchor it. We have this fading yod. I mentioned it in yesterday's forecast, but the quincunx is still quite strong with the Capricorn planets, and these are very grounding. It is important, though, to not commit yourself to doing something that you do not want to do, because then you're going to wind up looking bad, basically, if you back out, change your mind, and of course everybody has a right to change what they're thinking and change their mind, but you make it worse for yourself if you say yes just to make somebody else happy, and then you can't follow through and deliver on a promise or show up and do the work or whatever it is that you are committing to doing. Then you're going to look like you're just not responsible, mature, that you don't have your head on straight or whatever. And those can certainly be types of opinions people can form under a Gemini moon and the sun in Sagittarius, which is all about having fun and playing, although it is growth oriented, and it does rule the 9th house, which is a house of foreign travel and higher education. It's a house where we gather and share information and experiences. And on the local level, that's Gemini, the third house, where we're more about our immediate environment and neighborhood. So getting your thoughts together, getting your head on straight is important at this full moon. Thinking about what you're feeling and not just jumping at whatever interests you, because not all things that interest us initially are going to be something that last, that we persist in learning more about or following through on. So take a little time to think about whether you can stay committed to whatever it is that you start right around the time of this full moon. And Mercury, I did not mention it in the forecast, but it is a little bit restless as well, being in Sagittarius with that fire energy, and a Uranian connection here is also very quick, very impulsive, wanting to jump right in. We have some more fire here with Aries energy. We have Chiron in Aries making a trine to Mercury as well. This is very me-oriented in regard to competition or conquest, wanting to go out and win, wanting to go out and seek. Aries wants to initiate and lead, and Sagittarius enjoys the thrill of seeking or the thrill of competition. So there's a lot of high energy going on the mental level, on the emotional level, on a very personal level. How we identify right now is definitely on a very fast level. And then we have the slower water and earth here to help anchor us and hold us in place. Bring imagination in, be open-minded to new things. That is the best use of all this fire and air that we have going on at this full moon. But then turn to the water and the earth to sustain and to keep things going, and to build your foundations and to see things come to completion. So there's energy in all areas of life, basically, right now, wherever you might need it. We've got everything going on elementally, earth, air, fire, water. It's all being activated at this time. This trine here between Mars and Neptune, everybody should be feeling this as well. This increases desire for either romance and sex, or it can be financial, where there's a strong desire to simply have more, and anything that would increase pleasure in your life, especially on the material level, that would make you feel as if you have more or you are more as a result of that extra money. So it is a very flowing aspect on a material level, and it is a very strong aspect for relationship. And we do have a nice sextile going on between Mars and the Saturn, Venus, Pluto conjunction. And these three are very tight right now. They're all together in Capricorn, which is very traditional and it's very success oriented. And Mars is masculine, strongly masculine. Neptune is also making a sextile to these planets. Manifesting, being able to get what you want is the main thing. And there's a lot of persistence and patience. Neptune gives the patience. Here we have impatience going on with our full moon, but there is patience that can be tapped into if you turn toward the qualities of Neptune and you go into silence, meditation, spend time in nature, utilize prayer, meditation, music, anything that puts you into a higher state of being. And that is where you can manifest out of a strong desire and persistence and faith and belief. So everything is going on, really. There's nothing that's lacking. There's nothing that's missing at all in terms of the elements. And that gives you a lot of options and a lot of busyness to your next 2 weeks before we get up to the new moon coming toward the end of the month. I believe it's right at Christmas. So make the most of a very productive time And there's time for some entertainment and fun as well. There's plenty of opportunity for romance. And there's a lot of opportunity for work, productivity, for either the making of money or the spending of money. It can go either way with these strong materialistic aspects and success-oriented aspects and aspects of desire. They can be put toward material things, or they can be on the spiritual level. It really is up to you how you're going to use the energy of the planets during our current full moon. So let's take a look at the Sabian symbol. We round up to 20 degrees of Gemini. The full moon is at 19 degrees, 52 minutes of Gemini. A modern cafeteria displays an abundance of food products or of various regions. Keynote: the assimilation of multifarious knowledge through the synthesizing power of the mind. From the one, the many arise in due time. The original source gives birth to the mountain stream, which, gathering to itself the downflow of rainwater, becomes the large river around which cities are built. These in turn pollute the river on its way to the vast ocean. This modern symbol expresses the fact that man, now at the close of a cultural cycle, is able to gather foodstuffs, mental as well as physical, from many regions of the globe. His diet has acquired a planet-wide foundation. History tells us that the search for salt and spices, then for commodities rare in local regions, provided the impetus for global trade and thus eventually for a planetary consciousness. The results may be satiety and indigestion and mental confusion caused by lack of discrimination. This is the last symbol of the 16th fivefold sequence. As is most often the case, such a fifth stage implies a certain kind of synthesis, or at least a preparation, which leads to a new level. The keynote here is indeed assimilation. The negative potentiality of the symbol is waste. And that's really what's going on at our full moon. There are so many choices. There's just so much. We live in a time where, the internet and social media also exposes us to so much. And being able to determine what we really need and what we will really use versus what is non-essential and what becomes waste or wasted time, really, I think, is the biggest negative potential from our full moon. Time that does not turn into anything productive, or relationships, contacts, connections that don't develop any deeper meaning over time but stay superficial and basically are just pleasant in the moment, but nothing that is going to continue to grow and add more over time. And the rest of the planetary transits and aspects are pushing for more. So one manifestation I think we might see for some people, especially if they are commitment phobic, is cold feet. While we have such a heavy emphasis with Venus being sandwiched in here by Saturn and Pluto, and with a Mars-Neptune aspect as well, the pressure may be on for going deeper, and anybody who's scared of going deeper may really get triggered right now during this full moon. And if that's the case, I would say take a little time out and be sure that you know what your heart and your mind are telling you. Or if you're dealing with somebody who has cold feet, do the same. Give them the space to think about what's really important, because nobody really wants to be with somebody who doesn't really want to be with them, obviously. So take the time to really examine your thoughts and your feelings while we've got a lot of cerebral energy under that Gemini moon. In another day or two, let's see what day. Yeah, okay, the 13th, Friday the 13th, the moon is in Cancer. And we move out of air and we move into water, and we move from the mutable, uncertain energy into more stable cardinal energy, which makes up its mind and ordains things. And we will have a strong aspect here with the quincunx to Mercury. So and grand trine going on in water the day right after the full moon. Additionally, that moon on the Friday the 13th will be joining the North Node, and any decisions that you come to at that point may have strong karmic significance, because the North Node has a lot to do with your purpose, why you're here, and karmic relationships, karmic agreements. So it can be a very important decision-making day once we get out of that Gemini energy and the full moon begins to wane and we move into Friday and into that Cancer energy. So take the time to think about things. Don't jump too fast. And be open-minded. And then think about what direction you're going to be heading in and what's important to you and what is not. Be fair to other people, really, be responsible in your communications with others. Don't just go and disappear on anybody. Talk it out. And if you've got breakups looming, then do it the right way. If you're scared to move further into commitment, then don't hide it. Discuss it. Those are things that are very important right now while we have so much Capricorn energy going on here. All right, so we've hit on Sabian symbol. We've hit on the current transits. I love this picture here from the Moonlight Bazaar, and it's an annual event. And this was taken during one of the festivals, and I thought that this really embodies a lot of the Sagittarius and Gemini energy that we're feeling right now in the Sagittarius sun season and with the full moon in Gemini. And even the two little straight walking signs, the duality of Gemini and having to choose a direction or choose between one thing and another, kind of popped out at me when I looked at those two signs. And even the energy of the balloon, our minds, our spirit kind of lifts up when we're under that Gemini influence. We suddenly get the child mind, the imaginative mind, and it's almost like we've got a little dose of helium ourselves. So lighten up, enjoy the full moon, but think responsibly as well. And I will talk to you all when we get up to the new moon at the end of the month around Christmas.